Hello everybody and welcome to a video that I've been really excited to do. I've been holding off because I wanted to have a nice chunk of free time so I could freely make this video, not rush, and just speak about everything the way I wanted to, basically. And it's very exciting for me because I've never had anything like this before, and I'm not going to hold it off any longer. I now own a 17-inch MacBook Pro. So let's take a look at the frame on that. There you go. So you can see it says 17-inch LED backlit widescreen notebook. Turn it around. There it is. This was bought just before Lion came out. So literally the last Snow Leopard 17-inch MacBook Pro, and I'll explain about that in a minute. It's got the new Thunderbolt. And it's got i7, which is sweet. But we don't want to be staring at the box now, do we? We want to see the actual machine itself. Here it is. Here is my MacBook Pro 17-inch. This is the unibody model, of course. As you can see, they've been unibody now for a good number of years. I'm not particularly keen on the design of it. I have to admit, I do love the look of the old MacBook Pros, but this is growing on me, and it's growing on me fast as well. So all I'm going to do now is just take you around the machine in case you guys aren't familiar with the 17-inch MacBook Pro. I know a lot of you have got 13s, some of you have got 15s, but it's a rare amount of people that have got a 17, simply because most of the people don't want a big notebook like this. But I'm just going to take you around all the ports now. I'm going to do my best the way I've got the camera set up. But basically on the back you've got your average black bit here where the fans are and everything. That's basically the same. On the front you've just got the little latch bit, and you've also got the infrared and the sleep light. On the side you've got the slot loading super drive and the Kensington lock. And then this is the exciting part. Now let's go from here. Here is the MagSafe connection. We have Ethernet. This is FireWire 800. The new Thunderbolt port, or mini display on the older generations, 3 USB 2.0 ports, audio in and out, and our little slot here. Now, I like this. I have no use for SD card slot. Of course I use SD cards, but if I wanted to get an SSD to slot into here, that would be fantastic, or any additional device. I think that's just much more of a pro feature than an SD card slot. And then of course on the side here we've got our little battery indicator thing, so that's pretty cool. So let's open up the notebook. And just to show you inside then, you can see we have the multi-touch glass trackpad along with the LED backlit keyboard. We have the speaker grills here and the power button here, so very simple. And then here is our LED backlit glossy 17-inch widescreen display. You can see it there in action. Very cool. You can see I bring up the dock there. This isn't going to come out well on the camera at all, but it is a lovely looking display. So let me show you the specs of this machine, because I guess you're all dying to know. This is the 2011 MacBook Pro. So it has the 2.2 GHz Intel Core i7. I believe you can knock that up to 2.3 GHz on the Apple website, I believe. And you can see that I have 8 GB of 1333 MHz DDR3. Let's go into more info. Let's go to graphics. You can see here you have two graphic options on this machine. We've got the AMD Radeon HD 6750M. That's got 1 gig of total VRAM, and you can see that it's using that card right now. And you've also got the Intel HD Graphics 3000, and it's not using that card right now because it says no display connected. That's got 512 of VRAM. So it uses the Intel graphics when you're not using any pro applications and just doing general stuff. And then when you switch to a pro application or a graphics intensive thing, it switches to the dedicated Radeon card. So that's a pretty cool setup. If I quit a couple of things here, got a Keynote project open, then I didn't need to quit stickies. You might see it switch back to the other graphics mode. And I'm zooming in just so all you guys can see this. There you go. You can see the Intel HD Graphics 3000. You can see that it now has the display detected, which by the way has a resolution of 1920 by 1200, so it's a very nice display. And then you can see no display connected on that card. So, you may be thinking, I'm running Snow Leopard. Why am I running Snow Leopard? Well, I'll explain that to you in just a second. Excuse the totally messed up hair, everyone. I've had my hat on all day, but I'm just going to sit here now and explain to you why I've got this machine, how did I get it, why have I got Snow Leopard on it. Well, this is for college. This machine has all of the applications on it from college. I'll show you in a second. Everything that I need. I'm studying a music technology course, and that's great. I'm really enjoying it. It's a fantastic course, and this machine will help me through with that absolutely amazingly. So I've got all the apps for that, and in college we have loads of Macs. We've got in the music technology department, we've got 2 rooms of Mac Pros, and they all run Snow Leopard, and all the software that college has runs on Snow Leopard. So Snow Leopard is the most stable choice at the moment. And of course, when you use a machine, when you depend on a machine, when you rely on it for work or for college or for something that matters if you can't get it done, then it's extremely important that you run an operating system and applications that you know are going to be 100% solid on it. You don't want any issues. And we all know that Lion is a very new operating system and it isn't 100% solid. If you guys want to see my thoughts on Lion, then please feel free to request it, and I'll do a Geek Talk video on Lion. I'll rant on about Lion quite a bit. But I've got it on my Mac Pro, as you guys know. I did an install video of it, and it isn't the smoothest thing at all yet. But I haven't upgraded to 7.2, so maybe that'll change. But anyway, Lion is a no-go for this machine at the moment. At the end of my 2-year course, then I'll put the newest Mac OS, whatever it is at the time. Is it Lion, or will it be a newer OS? Whatever it is, I'll put it on there then. However, I was fortunate enough to receive this machine to do all my work on, and I'm very grateful for that. It's a lovely piece of kit. It's really, really nice. I've had it now for quite a while. I just haven't shown it to you guys, and I haven't had a single problem with it yet. It's a really nice machine. I love all the apps. Like I say, the design is growing on me. I've always been a bigger fan of the older design MacBook Pros, but I'm really starting to like this one. And people ask, you know, is 17-inch too big? If I hold it in the frame here, it's a completely massive machine. You see, it fills the frame. But it really isn't that big. And the main thing about the machine is it's extremely thin. Look how thin it is. It is a very, very thin machine, and I like it a lot. I find it easier to carry around than my PowerBook. My PowerBook is a 15-inch. I find it easier to carry around than that, simply because it's thinner. It's not the size lengthways that I'm worried about, it's the thickness, and the PowerBook is a fairly thick machine. So this is a really nice machine, and I'm very glad that I've got it. I will be taking questions on it. I will, you know, respond to comments and whatnot, and I will expect some hate for people saying, oh, why do you need a MacBook Pro when you've got a Mac Pro? But hey, the Mac Pro isn't exactly the easiest thing to take on the road, so please take that into consideration. Also, a little side note, Steve Jobs, of course, it's just, I wouldn't say it's a shock, but you know, it's just one of those times in history that we're all going to remember. So there will be a dedicated Steve Jobs video coming up. I know I'm late, but I kind of wanted to let everything settle down first before I did my video and did my take on it. And I wanted to get all the final news on it, you know, I didn't want to put a video out there straight away. But hey, this video is about my MacBook Pro. The Steve Jobs video will be coming next. And then if you want, it'll be the Geek Talk on Lion, and more in depth why I would really not like it on a machine like my MacBook Pro. So let's go back down to my MacBook Pro then and take a look at the applications. So this MacBook Pro came with a 750 gig drive. Let me just check that so I've got it right, because I don't want to be failing here. Yeah, you can see their capacity, 749.81, and that's actually very close to 750, so that's not bad at all. You can see that I've used 125.15 gigs. That's mainly applications, so that's pretty cool. And overall, I'm just so glad that it came with a big hard drive, because the biggest hard drive I've ever had in a portable from Apple is 120 gig. It was 120 in my PowerBook and it was 120 in my MacBook that I used to own. But anyway, here we have the applications folder. You can see that I have the Adobe CS5.5 Design Premium. So that gives me, sorry about that. That gives me, I hope you can see all this. I'm zooming in so you can see. That gives me, you know, Dreamweaver, Photoshop, Flash, Illustrator, all that kind of stuff you see up there. You can see that I have a Cubase, not my software of choice. I'm a Logic kind of guy, but I've got Cubase because we use it on the course. Color, compressor, cinema tools, all the stuff that comes with Final Cut Pro, DVD Studio Pro. There's Final Cut Pro itself. We've got the iLife stuff on here. I believe this is the newest iLife, well of course, because it came with the MacBook Pro. I've got Office on here, got iWork, you can see Soundtrack Pro, you can see, where's Logic then? There you go, Logic Pro. Logic is my software of choice. And I've also got Sibelius on here, notation software. And that is pretty much it. So you can see a whole host of software that I'm very grateful for, and that's, I'm going to make as best use as I can of that software while I'm in college. Fantastic, fantastic facilities, and I'm very grateful to have this machine. I really, really enjoy it, and it's helping me so much. So that's my MacBook Pro. It's looking pretty cool. I've got a wonky tripod again, and I've got messed up hair, but anyway, I'm just so excited about this Mac, and when I talk about it on camera, it makes me even more excited. Now, I've got a quad-core i7 2.2 GHz in there. How does it compare to the 8-core Xeon from 2008? Very close. I have to admit, these machines are very close in speed. The graphics card in my Mac Pro is really letting it down, the X1900. I reckon if I put a 6870 or something similar in the Mac Pro, then I'd get back to being quicker than the MacBook Pro, but at the moment they're very similar speeds. And that's a good thing, because when I got the Mac Pro, it was hard to use the PowerBook. You know, it was hard to go back down to those speeds, and that's why I'm not using PowerPC machines as much. And I mean, that's the problem. Once you get a machine that spoils you, once you get a machine that you're used to the speed, you know, I'm used to the 8-core Mac Pro, I just expect too much then, and it's a shame, but it's true and it's what happens. So why have I got this MacBook Pro? Why did I have a PowerBook for school? I get this question a lot. Why do I need it? They've got Macs in school, why do I need it? Well, it's come as it's no secret on my channel anymore that I've got a whole host of issues to deal with, and one of those is very, very bad eyesight. So of course I need to carry a computer around with me, basically wherever I go to do any of my work, because written work for me is a complete no-no. And they gave me a Windows machine in the early years of secondary school, and then I bought myself the PowerBook. But I've been fortunate enough to receive this MacBook Pro to help me along these 2 years, so I'm very, very glad of that. And of course it's 17-inch because I'll be using it for a lot of pro software, and because I need to make things very, very big. So that's a brief little announcement to that. I've never been the kind of person to sit in front of the camera and just basically rant on about all the various problems and things that I have to deal with. But there will come a time on YouTube that I'll have to do that, because surprisingly enough, I'm getting more and more questions. You know, I'm getting asked, why is your hair so white? Why do your eyes move? Blah, blah, blah. And it's understandable. I knew people were going to eventually ask. So maybe a video to come on that too, explaining about me and basically who I am, just letting you guys know who I am a lot more. But anyway, for now, that's the MacBook Pro. It's a lovely machine. I like it a lot. I'm using it every single day. The battery is amazing in comparison to my PowerBook. And yes, I will be selling the PowerBook, but all the money from the PowerBook will be going back into the MacBook Pro. How do you ask? Well, I'll be using pretty much half the money that came with that I get from the PowerBook to buy a portable hard drive for this to back it up. I'll get a 1 terabyte so I can back up the 750 gig with Time Machine, and I can partition it then to give me a little bit more storage. and I can also get something else to do with education or music from that money from the PowerBook, because it was my parents that funded me the money for the PowerBook in the first place, which I'm also very grateful for. So that's been a video, a lot of talking. I wish I could show you a few more things on the MacBook Pro, but there isn't that much to show you. I've got a 2011 17-inch MacBook Pro and I absolutely love it. So that's all mystery over, that's what I own, and that will be seen in my videos from now on, I gather. So thanks very much for watching, guys, and remember that Steve Jobs Thoughts video is to come very soon.